I'm Maria, and I'm getting married next week. There's only one big problem. I'm marrying a wonderful man named Andre, and he's a real dreamboat. He's handsome, kind, and he always makes me laugh. He's the ideal man that I've dreamed about since I was a little girl. I couldn't believe it when he asked me out, and we were happily dating ever since. It was the happiest time of my life, being with him. Then one day, Andre invited me to meet his parents. I'm so nervous. I hope they like me.
Don't worry. If you just be your usual self, I'm sure they'll see how amazing you are.
Aw, thanks, Andre. We reached his parents' place, and they welcomed us in for some tea and snacks. I won't lie, I was nervous. Really nervous. I almost spilled my tea all over myself a couple of times. But somehow, I managed to keep my cool and not embarrass myself.
So, Maria, what exactly is it you do?
Oh, I'm a writer. I write for a webcomic online.
Really? And you make enough money doing your little comic to support my son?
Well, I make quite a bit, I think. I mean, it isn't anything crazy, but if the comic gets really popular, the author promised us all a large pay raise.
Oh, I see. So it's a fun side project. That's cute. So what do you actually do for work?
I just told you? I work on a webcomic. It's a more popular one, so I get a decent salary. And I do some commissions on the side to help pay my bills so I don't have any other job.
I see. So you are unemployed then. What a pity.
I just told you I have a job.
Listen, Mom, let's just drop it, all right? She had enough money to pay for our needs, and I have a great job too, so we don't have to worry about our finances.
She dropped it after that, but all night she'd drop hints about how poor she thought I was. But it was true that I had a job. She just didn't understand what I did for a living, especially after she found out that worked from home. Her attitude seemed to change for the worse.
Oh, so why didn't you just say you were too lazy to get a job? My son is out there every day working hard to support you both, and you're just doodling at home. So ungrateful. I bet my son bought the very dress you're wearing today.
I couldn't stand it. She'd been insulting me all night, and now she was just being plain rude. I had enough, and I was about to give her a piece of my mind when Andre stood up before I did.
That's enough. I love her, and she has a wonderful job as a comic illustrator, so you can just shut your mouth and stop insulting my girlfriend.
That sure shut her up. She just gawked at Andre, surprised that her own son would tell her to shut up. We left after that, and I fell even deeper in love with my boyfriend. The next day, I got a call from her.
I'm so sorry for how I acted yesterday. I suppose I was out of line to say such things to you, but I just want what's best for my son, and I don't want him falling in love with a no-good freeloader. I'm sure you understand, don't you?
I guess. This isn't the best apology I've ever heard, though.
Oh, good. I'm glad we came to this understanding. So, you're going to break up with him, right?
Excuse me?
Well, you just agreed that he shouldn't be with a freeloader. He's got so much potential, and he needs someone that should support him in that. Obviously, that person isn't you, so you should stop playing your silly game and go find someone else to mooch off of.
I was fuming mad. Even when she apologized, she was still being a jerk. I told her that I was going to date Andre whether she liked it or not because we loved each other. If she wanted to come between us, that would be her own funeral. I hung up on her before she could respond, but I decided to keep the phone call a secret from Andre. I didn't want him getting a bad relationship with his mother just because we didn't like each other. The weeks passed, and I didn't see much of his mother since then. After our first meeting, Andre was fine to visit his parents without me, and I was perfectly happy not to see them again either. His father was pleasant enough, but whenever his mother spoke, it made me very angry. Soon, Andre proposed to me. It was a beautiful moment. He got down on one knee after taking me to a beautiful bridge. Of course, I said yes, and we started to plan the wedding right away. Everything started falling into place as the wedding day approached. We got the perfect venue, a beautiful scenic gazebo overlooking the beach, and I even got a wedding dress that looked perfect on me. I was all set to marry the love of my life. But that's when everything started going wrong. A few days before the wedding, I got a call from the band we had hired to play. They apologized, but they said they had another offer that was much better than ours, and they really needed the money. I was sad and very annoyed, but having no band wasn't the end of the world. Then, later that day, I got another call. The venue we had booked was taken too. Someone had come in and offered to pay double our amount for it. Finally, the rotten cherry on top of this whole disaster cake, the dress shop called and said that a previous customer had just spilled wine all over the dress I had set aside, and it would take a week at least to send it to the cleaners. After hearing this, I couldn't hold my tears back anymore. Everyone was coming for our wedding and nothing was ready for it. We didn't have any place to get married, I didn't have my dress, and we couldn't afford another nice church on such short notice. I broke down crying. My perfect day was absolutely ruined. As I cried on my bed, Andre found me.
I just got a text from my mom apologizing that the wedding was off. What's that about?
Well, someone booked up our venue and band and my dress is ruined. There can't possibly be a wedding now.
Those things don't matter to me. I love you, and I still want to marry you even if there's no church or dress or band. Besides, we can save all that money for a great honeymoon anyway. Just the two of us.
I dried my tears as I realized that Andre was right. It wasn't about the dress or the gazebo or any of that. We were still getting married no matter what. So I texted his mom to clear up the confusion. I apologize for any misunderstanding, but the wedding is still going on. We'll meet at the small local church down the street for the service and I'll send directions.
What? But you don't have your dress or the venue or anything. I took it all away from you, but you're still marrying my son? Impossible.
Suddenly, it all made sense. It was her that spilled the wine and rebooked my band and venue. She had tried to ruin our wedding, but lucky for us, none of that stuff mattered anyway. I could imagine how furious Andre's mom had to be after spending thousands of dollars on the band and venue only for us to still get married. We had the ceremony, and it was a lot of fun. My whole family showed up, and so did all of his. Well, almost all. We got married without any of the fancy things we had planned, but it didn't matter since we loved each other. We noticed that my mother-in-law didn't show up for the wedding, though. Andre was beyond disappointed and very upset. I called her before the wedding, and she refused to come. She wanted no part in this horrible arrangement. She had even tried to stop the rest of Andre's family from attending, too. Luckily, they didn't listen to her whining, though. After the wedding, though, Andre got another call, but this one was from his father. He explained that my mother-in-law had spilled her drink and ruined my wedding dress, but refused to pay for it. The dress shop was pressing charges in court to try and get the money out of her. But she'd already spent most of their money on rebooking all the things for my wedding and didn't even have enough to pay them. He begged Andre for money, but he refused. She didn't want any part of our marriage, so we weren't going to bail her out of the mess she created. He apologized to his father, then hung up. We haven't heard much from them since, but the bill from the court case, the dress, the venue, and the band must have been crazy expensive. She has to work 2 jobs now just to try and pay off all her debts. But Andre and I have a happy life without them in it.